my workshop is, and I'm looking excited to it. It's already been a year. Last year we sponsored. This year I chose to do a workshop instead. Like the dynamic that I get when I interact with like participants there, it's just as a small business owner, it's just not the same for me. So the expectations of like when I go to events like these, and what actually happens and what I'd like to do is it's not really the same. I get a lot of value just going to these events to stay current, meet new people. Definitely the networking aspect to this is immense. And look, honestly, like I hadn't really seen any workshops like this. I definitely had seen workshops related to just using containers in a general manner, teaching you maybe how to like escape from containers and stuff like that. I thought that's cool, but I didn't really see too many workshops even covering like Windows containers at all, unless they were specifically developer kind of like focus. And that's really the only thing that we're going to do today. So let's hop to it. Key, and I think this is our boy. Yep. So normally when you kick off or you reboot your Windows instance, you'll see a notice like this, using good old cmd.exe to run stuff. Looks like I am getting kind of the text looks blurry to me. Doesn't look like super crisp. Oh well. So here are containers, our images. A lot of things in use here. Some of these things, I guess, these are some of the intermediate things that get used to build, or maybe these are builds that started to and failed. See, it's unused, dangling. Let's just get rid of these. So fast. Yeah, I think it's maximum. Yeah, looks good. So this is the host participants interact with when they're doing the workshop. Still got my volumes here. So if I recall, so first things first. I was trying to do so we were able to copy Python installation files into a volume used by our Windows image, and then I was able to change the path to include this volume. So in this case, it's here. You see where I have CPython and CPython scripts. So CPython's maps to a volume that I'm calling like Python underscore 311, if I'm not mistaken. The neat part about that is that it does work, and when you invoke it directly, Python's mapped at this point. Even if you go into like the folder and just execute it from there, it will also work. So if I did so I have some images now. And I have the image where I'm trying to fix the user permission, and I think I normally rehearse. I normally don't rehearse, so I stream unrehearsed. But since I've had this problem now for 2 weeks, on my off time, I've been like on and off researching a little bit on how to solve this issue, so that way I'm not just here struggling. Let's see. So do I have any running containers? I want to say no. This one's 3 days ago. So this is the one that I'm using to fix the user permission. This one is not the same. So I will be using that one. And that one has the name of Python. So docker start Python. No? Maybe I need to make this window. Oh, Python test. Make the window not suck. So that way I can see the full name. You see how that looks here on the screen. I've tried playing around with where I'm putting widgets and stuff like that. if you've never seen this stream series, just feel free to like write any questions, comments, and stuff like that in the chat. I mean, we're here to basically work together to make this thing a little bit better. Okay. Now it's running. Cool. So it looks like the default command here is either PowerShell or command.exe. So we can always find out what something runs here by default. We can inspect our containers to see their configs. So it is command.exe. And all right, so I think I have an execute flag here. Yep. To do that, so like one of the issues that we had was we could run Python things, but we couldn't pip things. So I saw somebody mention this workaround. It's like, hey, instead of calling, the pip executable directly, just use Python and import it as a module. So let's try that. So if I do Python, like v, do that. If I do pip, it complains about path. So the interesting part here is this is what it maps to on the host, but I'm using setx, so I should be able to just do the what was it? Might have a history here. No, might be able to do this. Let's see. Where I can get the path information to just validate, because in our build script, I am specifically, see, I've commented out, use what it already has and add these two things, and instead I've basically copied out what was in the original path environment and put my things in here, so that way I don't have to worry about having a bad entry or something that I didn't want. And I've also put, so this is the other part that we're going to get to now. So if I wanted to find out what the path is, yeah, it's almost like a weird looking shell hack. Yeah, ENV path. So there is no administrator app data blah 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 here. So odds are it's reading it from a config file. That's my guess at this point. But what we can do is we can do Python tech module pip. That seems to work. Now what I don't really have, see, so I was able to get pip output this way, which is good, right? Yeah, install, download, right? So that is pip. So I could just do a show to see what I currently have installed. I think I have tdqm and requests. I might have, like show all. Is that a thing? No? Oh, list. Yep. Okay, we've got a few things there. TDQM. I have have this. Interesting. Why do I have two of them? Anyway, so the other thing that we're trying to do now is with in regards to the user environment. So let's say I wanted to like pip install. If anybody in the chat has something they want to suggest, recommend, I'm all ears. Pip install is going to be a little bit different for us too. Because have I actually pip installed anything on this container yet? I want to say no, because the way I did it off the host, and then I copied some folders related to Python from the host, and I put it in its own volume. So if I navigate here to like program data, I go program data Docker volumes. I basically just copied what was on the host and I dropped it in here. So I can query hashes. I can do stuff like that. So I do know that our scripts work. And I am running out of time here to like add, improve, and just add content to this workshop. So here we can query hashes out of Malware-Bazaar. And I do have a folder pre-staged with samples that workshop participants can use. So that way we don't have to like all download and pull new samples, wait for them to extract. I do have Defender on with full updates. So these are the only things that survive from the malware daily from looks like April 8th. So those would have been samples from April 7th because it's pulling the day before. Not great. There were like 100 or so like executables, 2 DLLs. The DLL survived because it's Defender. Defender doesn't really care too much about DLLs until they get loaded for some reason. So executables, as soon as they start getting written on disk, Defender is going to potentially either through like knowledge of like file hashes or heuristic scanning, it's going to be able to detect a lot of these and delete them as it's either being written to disk or they're being executed by participants. So I think this way is going to be probably a better way to like mitigate some of the issues that we might have in the workshop related to trying to analyze samples that we really have no knowledge of. Right? Let's say like this is this one. And now that we know, I believe it's related to smoke loader. Yeah. There you go. So I mean, and that's pretty freaking cool, being able to do stuff like this, because you don't really need like you still kind of need a full system to just be the host to be able to run Docker on Windows. You're paying a license. There's some Hyper-V stuff that is honestly a little bit confusing because you would expect if it's using Hyper-V to kind of like run these containers in virtual machines, and you don't see them here, so it's kind of like, huh? I'll have to dig up a little bit more info on why that is. But yeah, so it uses Hyper-V, but then you don't actually see anything related to like your Docker thing in here. I thought that was, it's certainly the first time I've ever tried looking for it, and just noticing that it's kind of interesting because you would expect to at least see something there if there is a requirement to have Hyper-V. So we could do stuff like this, like. I think one of the things I do need to do is just do like a stupid loop. Oh, I need to change the tool thing too. So we'll do that today. I need to change the way this tool works because right now it has a queue and it doesn't have an output. Yeah, so let me start. I do need to do that. All right, so we're going to do two things today. We'll change the script to have an output thing and the user permissions. So the thing is, when I'm running stuff here, I'm already in the container, right? Shocking. So if I'm here and I'm already in the container, and you see how easy it is to just run stuff there? It's like I know the path where my binary is, and I'm presenting an argument. So one of the things that we did in the last workshop, and it's kind of like a bonus exercise, is like, hey, given this folder of samples, just like iterate through all of them, query them, so that way you have information about them. Because unfortunately, the malware daily zip file from Malware-Bazaar, it just gives you like binaries, gives you files. It doesn't give you any of the associated metadata related to any of these files, but the file name is the SHA-256 hash. And then you are downloading it from them, so they do already have information about these samples. So then it's like, oh, I can download this easy, convenient file, but then I still basically have to query the service again to get information from these samples. It would be nice if this Malware Daily had, whatchamacallit, like just like even like a JSON file with that information already. But that is not the case here. I think is it in desktop? I'm trying to figure out where I'm downloading stuff here, because I do know that I have the things in volumes. So maybe that's part of. Maybe that's just where it is. Let me go back here. So this is the zip file. And you see like interacting with this thing using the host as admin. Not a good idea. So there's some 7-zips, there's some APKs, right? So it's not just like executables. There's ISOs, documents. Oh, there's a lot of ELFs here for Linux stuff. Cool. JavaScript. Yeah, but it doesn't have like an associated meta information file out of all the samples that are there, which kind of sucks. But, you know, hey, you get what you pay for, so you can't really complain. So the exercise would have been like do a loop to just run all these things, but in order to do the loop first, I need to change the tool. Let's see. So I have the script here. Now these are some of the backend admin kind of things. Yeah. So when I query, when I query the hash, basically what I'm trying to do is do an output folder. So I'll just have to add it here. So instead of just doing like this pretty response thing, I need to add a flag to where to save things to. So let me see how I'm currently doing stuff here. So when I do this, I'm creating an out file. OS path exists. Out file. File path, blah, blah, blah. So basically, like for this JSON response, if I do get a response, basically what I'm trying to do is save the response and use the hash provided, right? So in this case, the hash sent needs to become part of the file name. So it could just be hash.json. All right, response.json. So I just need to, I need to add a parameter here, so that way I can control where it gets saved to, because the thing is, like, I'm primarily more of a Linux person nowadays, and I could just use pipes to be like, oh, hey, whatever this command outputs, I can just pipe it, T it, would be very similar. And I want to save this to like this other directory, right? Because we have 3 volumes. We have the volume where we have Python. We have the volume where we have like our scripts, some of our tooling, and then actually we have 4 volumes. So where we have Python, where we have like our scripts, our tools, utilities, and stuff like that, where we have samples, and we have an output volume. And in this output volume, the intent is we're just going to save stuff here related to whatchamacallit, tool output, right? So that way, we can run it in a container. We can organize and control things, how they execute, where they execute from, and then be able to store those results outside of the container. We'll be able to do that. So let's just look at the code here. So I'll definitely have to add something here. So this is in my downloads. So then any changes here, I'll have to either like recommit into our UCTAMAS project. You can find that like here. I think I already might have yeah. So this is where we have this script. If you're interested in like using it, please feel free. Let's see who we have here. Oh, that's not suspicious at all. Oof. It's a little bit creepy there, XNSA. Always watching you. All right, so let's see. So if we do this from here, it should work. All right, so let's do this. I'm just gonna jam out the music. I'm gonna what I'll do first is change the tool output thing, because definitely I think there's gonna be just more immediate value just doing that, and because I know like the like the permission thing here for non-admin users on Windows, like I already started like doing a little bit more research on that before doing the stream, and I know that one's gonna take me longer. And you know, today is like, you know, probably out till like 11:30. So let's see what we can get done. think this is enough. I think the neater thing would be to maybe do like a keyword argument thing here. So let's at least try that first, and then I'll clean it up. I don't know why I keep searching for things without searching the original docs first. I generally try to do this first before looking for bad SO advice. think that's all we need. So I'll be able to define a file path. If the file path is not designed, if is not passed, it'll default to the current working directory. Still kind of iffy there on my defaults and my paths, but we'll know soon enough. When I save it to a file, I want to basically save it with the hash that gets queried as part of the file name with a JSON extension. And I think that should be it. I think I just need to go down and change like a couple things, and then we'll start testing. Sorry. this is a good thing to try here. So let me just check one thing here. Hey, if you're new, if you're creeping, you know, just say hi. So one of the things that we can do here is, since we already have access to like the host, I don't have to use like Docker cp commands just to put files into some of these volumes. I can literally just navigate the file system since I'm using the default storage driver. And you know, I was able to just copy the edited script back into the volume. You know, I deleted the older one. So this volume is mounted, right? And even though the container, like I'm not in it right now, it's still running. So if I go back in here and I go to scripts, I got most of the letters. Yeah. Some mistake here. Path is not, that's true. Path is not defined. I think what I was trying to do here was OS system path and get it to return a path. I don't think I did that at all. Let's see, pathlib. Oh, that's dumb. So I need this to return. This is the equivalent of calling norm path. What is norm path? Normalize a path. Okay. Windows converts / to back. This is probably the way to go, and that's normalizing a path. This is probably something like this is what I want instead. Get current path. Current working directory. I thought this was, no, I used this wrong. Norm path. All right. Just doing a join. Oh, no. So I do just want the current working directory. This is another parameter is just being passed. That's dumb. I think I should just be able to do this. Yeah. I'm going to have to recopy it. So let's, now that I've recopied it, and just open another window here. Yeah, replace. I didn't close something. Use an IDE? No way. Okay, doesn't mean it works. Was it a Q? So this has to do with, as it's trying to write it out. The previous stream series that I did before this was basically related to like Yara, and I did this one last year with the help of like SECon 202. Spent a lot of time learning about JSON, loads, dumps, stuff like that. Clearly, I wasn't able to retain most of this. I know that I'm doing a dumps here, and I'm doing it as a pretty object. And I'm doing indents here. Great. That's just for visibility purposes. I think where I'm trying to do here in my save, that's where it's getting messed up. So I can just do You know, already dumping the JSON response. And just do this without the index. Or I think that should be enough. Yeah, I think that does it. And if it doesn't, you know, we'll know pretty quickly here. Unless it is really doing an error on the request. So I just don't have enough like JSON response here on the I don't think I'm changing anything here that would just get output save plus hash request session. I think I need to do like a printing in here. I think I'm abusing syntax. Yeah, that'll work. I think that'll work. Just want to really make sure that it's clearly a change that I did. So we don't have like our normal debugging, not really debugging. So we don't have our normal ID here. Yeah, print statements are fine. So it is on the request. As it's trying to do, yeah, the right. So that's the only place where I'm stating bytes. It had to do with the save. No new files here either. Where did it save to? Should have been there if it was current working directory. I mean, we got what we wanted, but clearly it didn't do the save. I got my output though, which was neat. That is my current working directory also, so it's not, you know, I'm not chasing my tail. Odds are the current working directory just sucks, so I could just do this. There's probably like echo it out here, just for now, so that way, you know, we have some cognizance of what's being passed here. So it wasn't that I was wrong. It's just that probably the way that I'm building my string out is it's no good. And I'm pretty sure we can touch files here. So I was able to see that, you know, we did get the output we were looking for. See, it is. This did work. Probably there's no slashes. It's where those other modules like normalize path are helpful. I thought, yeah, this norm path, yeah. I can remove this out because I know this is fine. It's going to be useful this way. Output save is going to be equal to I hope it's not like a pathing thing. Odd, because like when I do the pull Malware-Bazaar samples, they're the file name. Get zip contents. Oh, because I'm okay. So when I'm calling this, I'm saying, "Hey, save this out to here." That's why. Okay. Well, when I do it like this, you just do, "Hey, just pull this, pull, then wrapped around." Yeah. Okay. The folder didn't exist. Pull samples. Path.join. So I'm telling it to pull samples 2. So this was basically just an exact dupe of the other one. Except this one creates a path if it doesn't exist. I don't want to do that. Pull samples, blah, blah. Pull samples and empty quotes. Oh, because, okay. I think I see. Out file. Yeah. I mean, we're almost there. And I can't touch stuff here, right? It's not like read. Oh, maybe this volume is read only. There's no touch in Windows. There's no A. Forgot how you make files in Windows. It's not a good day. Yeah. That still work? There's no A. It's looking for an A. Null. I didn't think that was going to work. Yeah. Oh, there are echoes. There's echo here now? Oh. So it's not a read-only problem, though maybe it should be, because we definitely want to keep our scripts folder, maybe like read-only. Okay, so the things that we're doing here, check some stuff here. So if you're new to the stream, say hi, ask questions. Don't be a stranger. You can also help me if you want. I'll take all the help I can get at this point. So I save it here. Session.post. Here's the response with open output save as JSON save. JSON save right, JSON dumps, JSON response. Yeah, that should be enough. I'm printing the pretty object. JSON response is equal to response.json. It's open, output save. This is JSON save, right? JSON dumps, JSON response in that. Do I even need JSON dumps? It's always the easy stuff that takes me the longest. Yep. That's why that wouldn't work. That's why we were using JSON dumps. So easy revert here. Oops. Maybe I will have to normalize the path. Yeah, let's see what crazy string we're actually building here, because not working. And that's why, you know, doing stupid path string builders. Yeah, I figured I had to like shove that slash in there. It's kind of nasty, honestly, I think, if you do it this way. It's a lot more error prone. You know, we want to become better programmers here too, so let's I'll do this just to, you know, yeah, string literals. Oh. Yeah, no. And then dude, thank you, Windows. Yeah. Backslashes all day. All right, this should be so at least work now. All right. Man, my back has been killing me this couple of days. So let's see what we're on time. I think I'm gonna take a little break here. Maybe like 5 minutes. Well, I just go get some water, something to drink. But yeah, but look, now we have our tool saves to the place. We need to clean this up because frankly, I don't like doing stuff like this anymore. Before I would, because it's like, oh, you know, it compiles it, you know, it runs. No, let's not do this. So I guess this output, blah blah blah. I guess would just be like a normalize. So like norm path. It says here norm path. I'll probably need to import this thing. Join. Maybe can I just do like a norm path like that? I don't think that's a thing. Let me just look up norm path here. I'm curious about this one because let's say you're running this on Linux. It's not what you want. Normalize path, collapsing redundant separators. Yeah. Windows converts forward slashes to backslashes. Yeah, I mean, that should work. There's some other path stuff here that I guess I'm putting out. So, you know what? Let's see. Before we take this break, is it as easy as this? I mean, does it really matter? I think it matters. Let's just delete result here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, this is curious because I'm going to have a whole bunch of students running these scripts, and now they're just going to overwrite themselves. Yeah, okay. I think I can live with that. Arm path is not defined. I probably didn't import things like that. Do I have OS? I have OS. Oh, that is right. It's not a package. I mean, I already had OS path. Oh well. How was I bringing os.path stuff in here? Fine. Then I don't need this. I should be more explicit with my imports, but I think this will do. I mean, really doesn't change much. All right, so that's done. So I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break, and we shall return. So please, if you're new, let's do this. If this is your first time watching the stream, I stream unrehearsed. This is literally my practice time. This is where I get good. Sometimes I get worse, but I usually get better. Feel free to like ask me questions if there's something that you want me to see covered, tool, something that you want me to like integrate into this thing, something that could be easily done, right? I could probably do today. Harder things I'll probably have to prep for a little bit and try to showcase that. But look, please drop a follow, drop some comments, write anything. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? I've had issues here where the streaming software just basically dies on me like at the 1.5 hour mark. So if that happens, I'll immediately jump back on. But look, let's take a little break here, and yeah, so I'll be back in 5. All right. Yeah, I'm back. So look, so we got the script going. I just need to check that it can actually save to a value that gets passed into this function, because it'd be terrible if that didn't work, because that's the one thing that we're trying to fix. After that, we need to move into creating a Windows container with a non-administrator account. Now, the commands are actually very easy, but the issue becomes that when you actually start the Windows container, it errors about not having permissions, complains about a password. Me personally, I don't really use Windows containers up until I started teaching this workshop. I didn't even know it was a thing. I think most people don't even know it's a thing, but it is, unless you're like a web developer and you develop like some like C#, kind of like ASP, kind of like maybe driven, not ASP, some .NET delivered solution. Yeah, I guess most InfoSec cybersecurity people probably not aware that was a thing. So that's one of the reasons why I started doing this workshop also, was so that way I could start learning, familiarizing myself and get better at this while, teaching others, because, it's kind of like a team thing. It's a journey. So let's see what we can do. I need to test the one thing first. So we're here. I should be saving this to. Oh, so I do a taco, and then. So I'm going to quickly copy this real fast. Okay, so I committed the changes to Malware Daily. You can use this script. Obviously, it's free. It's going to pull the previous day's samples from Malware-Bazaar. You can use that to just quickly get, some samples for testing. The neat thing about it is, it's not just executables and DLLs. That's the only thing that I'm really extracting out of this file for the purpose of like this workshop, and kind of like the kind of like stream series that I've normally done in the past related to like YAR rules and stuff like that. But you can definitely modify this to extract things beyond just DLLs and EXEs, so you can kind of just dupe this and add these extensions here. Other things that you want, hell, you can just pull the file down too and extract and figure it out. But look, Python's pretty neat. There's a lot of I guess planning and preparation that you need to do sometimes for your tooling, and that's what this workshop also covers. This is a very you can't really think of this as an asynchronous script, but this script is only really designed to do one thing well. Pull this file down and extract it, which is a very slow and cumbersome process when the AV is engaged, because it will delete the samples as it's being written to disk in some cases. But the interesting part of this is now I can query information from this provider, and you can script those to either, you know, if you want to do like a synchronous kind of loop thing, you can do that. That's probably what we're going to do in this workshop. If you're building malware analysis systems at scale, you wouldn't want to do some synchronous thing, because it's just going to add some latency. You're introducing latency into your process, right? So you just want your scripts to do one thing, to do them well, and store those outputs into somewhere where they can get either further processed, evaluated, but you want each of like your, I guess, your components to be very specific, and ideally to not work within loops, because loops tend to be you know, CPU expensive. So let's keep going here. So that's done. So now we're going to move into the sucky part, which is getting the non-administrator user to work in Windows. I can tell you right now from personal experience, I've probably spent maybe an hour on this problem so far. Hopefully we get it done today. So if you have any ideas, recommendations, please let me know, because you know, at this point I just want to be done with it, so then I can wrap up the rest of the workshop content and hopefully enjoy the rest of my weekend. All right, let's go. Oh wow, what if this is as basic as this? So to have access to this program data, kind of like volume, you need admin. And basically when you're in the Docker groups, you do have some, you're basically part of a privileged group and can escalate into administrator pretty easily, I would say, on Linux systems. But on Windows systems, this program data folder, you can't access that as like a regular Joe Schmo kind of user. Could it be as simple as that? Could it be the fact that because I'm telling it to start using these volumes, that's why it's getting messed up? Let me show you the error right now. So Docker, I think like start, and you'll just say like, I can't start because, you know, it throws up like a password, kind of like a mistake. We should see it here soon. Username or password is incorrect. It's like, create process failure. Username or password incorrect. And then when you try searching this message, it's so generic. Nav container, NUR helper. So this is specifically our error. Let me make this not suck. Blah, blah, blah. I remember, I've already read this thread. These aren't the droids we're looking for here, because they're using a script to create some environment variables, some definitions here. So this is like almost like a make script. This is a build script to build the image. New nav container. Yeah. I don't think reading this a second time around is going to make this better. So we know that we have a password issue, but look, a lot of this has to do with pathing stuff. So let's try making a new one without any paths. Hey, at least we're consistent. Okay, so it's not just a volume error. No, this isn't a permission thing. All right, I'm glad we at least ruled this out. So net user, non-admin. I mean, this is the add, yes, blah, blah, blah. This should be fine. I have links in our UCTAMAS project that I am going to read with you as a result of this. In our link stuff here, these are like things that I read as I was developing this workshop. Things that I thought would be useful for other people who were, wanted that, deeper knowledge base that you can't really offer in a workshop environment, especially one that only lasts less than a day. Windows containers. So it's even here. How to change the account for the user account. I think this is basically what I started building off from. The commands and stuff like that. Yeah. So container administrator is default. Inside it's compromised. To take control, shared resources, mounted volumes, blah, blah, blah. When to use container user. Oh. So we tried making our own. For that, you'll use, the notice here. Change the user profile. User, container user. Could it just be that? So would this one already exist? Does container user already exist? If it already exists, when I try building here, this will fail. Let's try that. we tried creating just random username. No go. Using container user worked. So this means two things. We can use this container user instead, and now we have two easy ways to determine if we're inside a Windows container. If you're ever doing like any if you're ever engaged to do like pen testing or doing kind of like security improvement for, let's say, like a DevSecOps kind of like process that involves Windows containers. So you could tell if you're inside a Windows container because by default it uses the container administrator account. Equally, it seems that this container user account is something that I thought this would have failed, considering that if this account already existed there, it wouldn't allowed us to do this. But the fact that it was able to build and run tells me that we're on the right path. And my weekend just got a lot shorter. So if I docker execute in here now, PowerShell. Damn, man, you saw how easy that is now? Will it even dare see? Yeah, oh, ooh, I'm part of the managers group. So if I can't use the net accounts. Container users and interesting. Something privileged that I can't really do normally in Windows. Let's see. Let's go to users. Yeah, go to administrators folder. Good. So you can traverse in there, but you really can't. And what about container administrator? Interesting. The folder there, net user, not there. Does it show? It's been a hot minute since I've used any of these commands. Look at that. So where the hell is container administrator? I mean, does it get mapped a certain way? Nope. Let's read this doc a little bit more. Okay, so I've made a non-admin user account in this image. I've done my volume mounts. It's running. And I think this could be it. If I'm not mistaken, we're in good shape here. And we're almost at the 2-hour mark, so let's hope for the best here. So docker execute -it. We can go into output. See, this is what I thought, that just doing this wouldn't be enough because of where these things are mounted against the host. So I can't interact with output. Can't interact with samples, and I'm going to make the assumption I can't do scripts. Yep. And if I try to run Python, usually when we ran this, very fast. Can't do it. And then what was it? ENV and then path? Is our pathing? Our path is different now. How interesting. Well, carrot cake.
Only a fool trusts his life to a weapon.
This is why you always got to check all these things out. Here you think everything's going to work, but I had imagined using the program data, like default storage path, was going to create issues with this, making a non-administrative user within our containers. But look, this is part of the process when you're developing content for workshops, those materials. The theory, sometimes theory sounds like, oh yeah, totally doable. And then the time it takes to sometimes execute theory is not something a lot of people want to do. So I can understand how developers sometimes get frustrated and just cop out and just run things as admin, because doing stuff like this, working through these pains, is not something everybody can tolerate. So how about this? For the next hour or so, we just need to fix this. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right. to see this just off the vuln side. So back in 2000, kind of not so privileged. Oh. And everyone users console login. Okay, so some of these things have been removed. So so this container user account before had some elevated privileges. Looks like this is fixed in March of 2021. Okay, cool. Should not be an administrator equivalent. This doesn't help us for what we're trying to do, but just for familiarity and knowledge, a little bit of background on this account. So, can be a prop admin. So, container user, volume mounts. Does not have enough permission. There we go. Yeah. Create root. Put it. Maybe it's because I'm putting it in C. Because I wanted the paths to be short, you know. Read more stuff about permission and Biden mounts. Ugh, the nerve of some people. Scratch space. Layer storage. Program data Docker. You can change where layers are stored using Docker root configuration. Blah, blah, blah. Oh. It doesn't have refs. Okay, I didn't know that. Refs is the new Windows file system. Cluster shared volumes. What a terrible acronym. Normally modify files. We're about halfway there. Running containers. So maybe this is like a NTFS ACL kind of thing. That makes sense. The thing is, this container user doesn't exist on the host, so that's why there are these other groups. What other groups does our boy have? Actually, when I did net group, it didn't tell me. Yeah. And then all the net commands. So local group. Loca group. Also valid. These are all the local groups. Doesn't tell me mine. I think the who am I we ran here earlier did. These are the groups that I belong to. I am part of the users group. Yeah, but when we get down here, think about this. This is already in program data volumes. Let's look at permissions here. Yeah, system administrators. Just like that. And even something like this, it's going to be the same. Yep. There's no special perms here. So maybe we need to store these and some other. Let's protect the middle ground. I would say no. Let's just keep reading. Okay, so it's more iCackle scripts inbound. So I guess I'm gonna have to modify Jeebus. Our the script that we've currently used to make certain folders non-executable in Windows. That was something that a viewer of a previous stream series that we did suggested. So let's just go here. So we have kind of like a defer thing. Am I going to put it in the defer thing, or am I going to put it in here? I think I'm just going to put it in here because it's more UCTAMAS related. So I'll just probably copy part of the script and do the thing there. So basically what it's saying is here we have this issue where we're part of this group. This would be all the way to the host. Yeah, well, I don't see this happening any other way. Oh, Jeebus. So I'm basically adding these people in here. Ugh, what could go wrong? Oh my. Oh. Did not like that. Dedicated users. Okay, so iCackles OI. Let's see what's up with that. It's a very old issue here. So organizational, what does the OI stand for? Can't remember now. Yeah, just double quote stuff. Yeah, it is a command-led error because I didn't escape stuff. All right, fine. Wishful thinking. How am I supposed to quote this? On the actual line itself. Et toi? No. You're an invalid parameter. So there's no authenticated users. That's not correct. So this is a server instance, but it's kind of like operating as a work group right now. So even when I do like the user manager, I didn't want to have to make a domain for any of this thing because I was just clearly looking for the easiest way to just do stuff here. Here are the workshop accounts. So then I can't see the groups. Oh, actually, we did see the groups. We know this doesn't work. mi/groups. Totally have an authenticated users group. Invalid parameter. Grant these people, so there's an issue with this iCackle thing. Grant authenticated users to places where I've seen this mentioned, and Solve the issue. Make their out. Cackles out. Grant users. In an admin prompt, by the way. Complaints. The commands just need some escaping. Yep. Let's see what we have here. Great. Something that doesn't exist. Perfect. And the other one is also dead. Great. Okay. Let's see. Let's see our other command here in another project that we have. Let's get some like iCackles comparison syntax here. So let's do that very quickly. What is it? /defer? I think it is. Cool. And we got some scripts here. PowerShell script. Cackles folder deny everyone. IOIOX. Yeah, so we're probably going to dupe this script. Let's just do this. Once we get the syntax down. So I'm doing, oh, I see. That worked. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, that's so dirty though. My God. No, I don't want to do that. So if I exec back in here, so that ID equates to the host that we made earlier. It's this container user. So I should be able to go into scripts now. Problem is, even when I built this thing, and I told it use this path, it lost it. Yeah, and that sucks. So yeah, I could probably just do this. Will it let me? Cool. Look at that. Value was saved. Really? Clearly not. Nope. Okay. Volume scripts. Output. Samples. Python. 11. Let's go back in here. Dude, but this is okay, so yes, but no. So I guess some of the path mounts and stuff like that are kind of dependent on when you, as you're modifying the host. So the host is definitely communicating with these containers in a way that I would anticipate. I've created some new security vulnerabilities doing this iCackles change. But we do have access to like our samples. We do have access to scripts now and to our output folders, which is what we wanted. So mission accomplished, but we're paying a heavy price for this. Jeez. Echo A into txt. Okay, so I'll do a different iCackle script to do this, and this is a big security to do because I know that I've changed iCackles to prevent the samples folder from being executable, and I've updated the operating system recently. I've done some changes to quite a few things here. So let's just do some quick and dirty sanity checks here without sacrificing the integrity of some of the configurations that we've done in the past. I've ran this iCackle script to prevent execution from this folder. That is still the case. I need to make sure that that we can't execute things here. That's just going to complain. It's like, no. Good. Because we don't want people self-infecting themselves here. This is fine. And so as Windows gets new like updates, new signatures, I see this. So check this out. It's like so we have this script that we can use. And we're going to use the malware daily, and I think if you just run it by itself, it doesn't do anything. So let's see. So what we want to do is we want to do a pull, and we want to save stuff to samples. So that's going to pull down stuff from Malware-Bazaar. It's going to pull the sample files, and it's going to extract. And you know, sorry, it's going to take a hot minute. And as it extracts, the AV is going to be kicking off on the host. So you're going to be seeing a whole bunch of alerts. And look, I think with that, we're done. So I'm just going to let this run. Usually it takes about 20 minutes. If you like watching paint dry, if you like seeing stuff like this in real time, then you know, you're in for a treat. But, you know, for most people, it's a good time to like go out, do something else. So 300 megs pulls us down 195 files. Out of those 195 files that are going to get extracted, I anticipate the 3 DLLs will live and most of the executables will not. So let's see how that goes, and I'll be back. Well, defender only as good as what it's defending. So you see all that output that we got from our tool? I think this was the view that I left it in, and I apologize for leaving it like that. But basically, like, our tool pulled down samples, extracted stuff, and you probably saw like the virus warnings. And it's still going to continue. So like every time we do something in this folder, every time we ls, so this is scripts. So I want to go to like samples. Yeah, plenty of stuff in there that's not going to make it. So if I do like a dir for everything that's like a DLL, it should have like 4 things, 5 things. Yeah, so the 3 DLLs survived, and they will probably survive. You know, despite Windows Defender being fully updated, just treats DLLs differently. I'm not entirely sure why. It just does. There's no word count. Should have stuff like this. So let me see. PowerShell count lines. Get child item. Wishful searches. Come on, wishful searching. Jeez. No, I'm not going to read those. Yeah, it doesn't count. Oh, find C with a count. Yes. You're not correct. That's why I like Linux more sometimes. Man find. Ay, ay, ay. What a rabbit hole. Excuse me. I want my word count line. Get object unique count, measure object. Dude, that's way too sweaty. Oh my god. Get child item. Make an accumulator. Dude, what? Measure object. Fine, let's try measure object. So there's 125 EXEs there, and it's just going to keep drilling down. So measure object is my word count line. How sad. Not quite. So there's 125 samples in here right now, and most of these are going to get schwacked. Yeah, but look, oh man, I'm actually pretty pumped and happy with this this workshop development stream that we did today, because we figured out our Python pip thing. We figured out we made the changes to the output script. So if you're into like Python development, we did that today too. We did the limited Windows container user account, which is neat. And then we did the iCackles changes to the volume directories, so that way the container can actually use the materials that are inside the volume mounts that we're doing using a limited user account. I think the iCackles changes probably introduces new vulnerabilities, so I'll just have to keep doing more research on that on my end. But look, we did good today. If you're like watching this like in YouTube, thank you. Drop a subscribe if you can, so that way you get notified when we put out new material that I think just doesn't really exist anywhere else. Normally on YouTube we're doing like things related to like commercial tools, but since we're doing workshop development, I think this type of content doesn't really exist exactly like this. That's why I'm putting it out there. Oh man, wow, pretty pumped. So yeah, BSides Charm next week. I'll be there. Hopefully you can make it there too. I look forward to seeing everybody there, seeing new and familiar faces. I'm not sure when we're going to do this workshop after BSides Charm. I might look into something like BSides Delaware, or maybe some other like closer, like local B-side event. But yeah, no, I mean, we did good today, so I think I'm gonna call it. So I'll make an iCackle script for what we did with see, from 125 it's down to 83, so the AV is gonna kill most of the EXEs. But basically, like this iCackles thing, so I'm gonna make a script for that. That basically just does the same thing as the other one that we have for our defer script, to like disable folder execution. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to place it in the UCTAMAS folder instead. So that way we have, we can track things better as we improve this workshop. Things related to the workshop, ideally closer to where the workshop should be. But, with that.
Then I'll throw down a face down to end my turn.
Yep. Have a nice weekend, and hey, take care.